Hello and welcome to English Listening Hub, the podcast for dedicated learners who are ready to move beyond the textbook. I'm your host, Alex. If you can understand this podcast right now, congratulations, you're an intermediate English speaker. You know the grammar rules, you have a solid vocabulary, but maybe when you try to have a real, fast conversation with a native speaker, things get fuzzy. They use weird phrases, the words don't seem to mean what you learned, and you feel stuck, searching for the perfect textbook sentence while the moment passes. Sound familiar? Don't worry. Today we're tackling the heart of real English speaking, phrases and situations for intermediate learners. This isn't about more complex grammar. It's about learning the music of the language, the chunks, the shortcuts, the living, breathing expressions that people actually use. We're going to talk about why this is so important, give you a toolkit of phrases for common situations, and most importantly, a practical plan to make this new language stick. Let's upgrade your speaking. Part 1. The Intermediate Plateau and Why Phrases Are Your Ladder. First, let's name the enemy, the intermediate plateau. It's that frustrating feeling where you're not a beginner anymore, but fluent, effortless speaking seems just out of reach. You might think, I need to learn more advanced words, more complicated tenses. But often, the key isn't more complexity, it's different material. Think about how you learned English, probably word by word, rule by rule. I am going to the store. Perfect. But in real life, that often comes out as, I'm going to head to the store, or I got to pop to the shop. Those are not just words, they're phrases, fixed chunks of language that native speakers grab from memory, not build from scratch every time. Learning in these chunks or phrases is a game changer for 3 reasons. Speed and fluency. Your brain processes a phrase like on the other hand as one unit, not 5 separate words. This means you speak faster and with fewer awkward pauses. Natural sound. Using common phrases immediately makes you sound more natural and confident. It shows you understand the culture of the language, not just the dictionary. Better comprehension. This is huge. When you learn that to blow off steam means to relax after stress, you'll understand it when someone says it. You stop translating word for word and start understanding meaning for meaning. So our mission is to shift from being a grammar architect, carefully constructing each sentence, to being a language DJ, mixing and matching cool, pre-made phrases. Let's get into our phrase toolkit, organized by situations you actually face. Part 2, the phrase toolkit, situations you actually face. We're going to cover 4 key situations: everyday social interactions, expressing yourself clearly, navigating problems, and mastering casual conversations. For each, I'll give you 3 to 4 essential phrases, explain them, and give you real examples. Situation 1. Everyday social interactions. Beyond, how are you? Fine, thanks. Let's start with breaking the ice and keeping a conversation flowing. Ditch the robotic, how are you routine. Phrase 1. How's it going? Or, what's up? Meaning, the casual, universal greetings. What's up doesn't literally ask what is above you, it means what's new, or just hello. How to use. With friends, colleagues, casual settings. The standard reply to what's up is often not much, or hey, just finishing work. Example, you see a coworker at the coffee machine. Hey Alex, what's up? Not much, just needing this coffee to wake up. How's it going with your project? Phrase 2. Catch up later. Meaning, to talk more when you both have more time. It's a perfect way to end a quick chat politely. How to use. When you're busy but want to show you're interested in talking more. Example, I'd love to hear about your trip, but I'm late for a meeting. Let's catch up later over lunch. Phrase 3. I'm slammed or swamped. Meaning very, very busy. It's more vivid than just I'm busy. How to use. To explain why you can't do something now, or just to complain, politely. Example, can you help with this report? I'm absolutely swamped until 5 p.m. Can it wait? Situation 2. Expressing yourself clearly, agreeing, disagreeing, giving opinions. Intermediate speakers often hesitate here, worried about being too direct. These phrases give you a soft, natural way to share your thoughts. Phrase 1. I see what you mean, but, or I hear you, however. Meaning, a polite, respectful way to disagree. You show you listened before you give your different opinion. How to use. In discussions at work, with friends, it prevents arguments. Example, I think we should launch the product next week. I see what you mean about moving fast, but I think we need 1 more week for testing. Phrase 2. That's a good point. I never thought of it that way. Meaning, to acknowledge someone's idea positively. It shows you're engaged in the conversation. How to use. When someone says something smart or gives a new perspective. Example, maybe we could target students instead of professionals. That's a really good point. They're more active on social media. Phrase 3, to be honest, or honestly, meaning used to introduce your true, frank opinion. It signals that what comes next is your real feeling. How to use. Just before you give a sincere thought. Be careful, it can sound a little strong if used to criticize. To be honest, this food is bad. Example, what did you think of the movie? To be honest, the special effects were great, but the story was a bit weak. Situation 3. Navigating problems and difficult moments. Knowing what to say when things go wrong saves so much stress. Phrase 1. I'm having a bit of trouble with, or I'm struggling to. Meaning, a soft way to ask for help, much better than the dramatic, I have a problem, or saying nothing. How to use. At work, with technology, understanding a concept. Example, in a meeting, I'm having a bit of trouble understanding the new software interface. Could someone show me quickly? Phrase 2. Could you clarify, or could you go over that again? Meaning, a professional, clear way to ask someone to repeat or explain something, better than just saying, what, or I don't understand. How to use. When instructions are fast or complex. On a call, could you clarify the deadline for the second phase? I want to make sure I have it right. Phrase 3. Let me see if I've got this right. Meaning, a powerful phrase to check your understanding. It shows you're listening carefully and prevents mistakes. How to use. After receiving important instructions or plans. Your boss gives you a task. You say, okay, let me see if I've got this right. You need the report by Thursday, and I should email it to the whole team. Is that correct? Situation 4. Mastering the casual and informal, the glue of conversation. This is the secret sauce. These little words and phrases don't add much meaning, but they make you sound fluid and connected. Phrase 1. You know? Or, I mean, meaning. Filler phrases that give you a second to think and make your speech less rigid. You know seeks agreement or confirmation. I mean is used to clarify or rephrase. How to use. Sparingly. Don't say, you know, every sentence, but using them sometimes is very natural. Example. The concert was amazing. I mean, the energy was just incredible, you know? Phrase 2. Kinda, or sort of, often pronounced kinda or sorta, meaning to soften a statement, makes you sound less absolute and more conversational. How to use. When you're not 100% sure or when a statement feels too strong. Instead of the book was boring, say it was kind of boring in the middle, but the ending was great. Phrase 3. That being said, or having said that, meaning a more advanced phrase to introduce a contrasting or surprising point after your previous statement. How to use. It makes you sound very articulate and thoughtful in discussions. Example. I know the budget is very tight this quarter. That being said, I really believe this training is a necessary investment. Part 3, How to Learn and Practice These Phrases, Your Action Plan. Okay, so you have this list, but writing them down isn't enough. You have to own them. Here's your 4-step action plan to move these phrases from your notebook to your mouth. Step 1. Listen for the phrases. Become a detective. Stop just listening for the general idea. Now, listen specifically for these chunks. Watch a sitcom like Friends or The Big Bang Theory, a YouTube vlogger, or this podcast, and pay attention. When you hear a phrase like, "I'm swamped," or "that being said," write it down. Notice the situation. What was the context? This trains your ear to recognize the music. Step 2. Learn in context, not in isolation. Don't memorize to blow off steam from a list. Learn the whole sentence. After that stressful meeting, I need to go for a run to blow off steam. Even better, learn 2 variations. This way you know how the phrase lives in a sentence. Step 3. Practice with a purpose. Low-pressure drills. You don't need a native speaker partner right away. 1. Shadowing. Listen to a short audio clip with a phrase. Pause and repeat it out loud, copying the speaker's rhythm and intonation. 2. Sentence framing. Take a phrase like, "I'm having trouble with," and create 3 new sentences about your life. "I'm having trouble with my Wi-Fi." "I'm having trouble with this yoga pose." Make it personal. 3. The 2-phrase day. Choose just 2 new phrases each day. Your mission is to use them at least once in a real conversation, in a text, or in your language diary. Just 2. This is manageable and powerful. Step 4. Embrace mistakes. They are data. You will use a phrase wrongly. You might say, "I'm swamped with you," instead of "I'm swamped by work." That's okay. It's not a failure. It's data. Your brain now has more information about how the phrase works. Laugh it off, correct it, and move on. Every native speaker has made countless mistakes. Part 4. From Phrases to Fluency, the Bigger Picture. As you collect these phrases, something magical starts to happen. You begin to see patterns. You notice that up often appears in phrasal verbs about completing things, like finish up, clean up, and out often means revealing or distributing, like find out or hand out. You also start to understand nuance, the difference between "I need to talk to you," which is serious and urgent, and "I wanted to talk to you," which is softer, more open. This is the bridge from intermediate to advanced. You're no longer just speaking English, you're choosing how to speak it based on the feeling you want to convey. Remember, fluency isn't about knowing every word in the dictionary, it's about having the right tool for the right job. These phrases are your most useful tools for the everyday situations that make up 90% of our communication. Conclusion and your challenge. So, let's recap. To climb out of the intermediate plateau, focus on phrases, not just words. Become a language DJ. Use the toolkit for socializing, expressing yourself, solving problems, and casual chat. And follow the action plan. Listen like a detective, learn in context, practice with low-pressure drills, and see mistakes as helpful data. Here's your challenge for this week. Pick 1 phrase from each of the 4 situations we discussed. Just 4 phrases. Write them on a sticky note on your mirror or your phone's lock screen. Your goal is to use each one at least once in a real interaction this week. It could be in an email, a text to a language partner, or out loud. Just try it. Thank you so much for listening to English Upgrade. If you found this helpful, please share it with a fellow learner. Your journey to fluent, confident speaking is built phrase by phrase, conversation by conversation. Keep practicing, stay curious, and remember, you've got this. I'm Alex. Until next time, happy learning.